All right. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I give honor to God, who's the head of my life and the head of the church. And honor to Pastor Duke for giving us the opportunity to get our license. Pastor Duke always give us advice, but I think the best advice they gave us was last Sunday when he said, don't study just to preach, study to know him. And that's what I'm telling y'all today. Don't study just to get at somebody, instead to get to know him.
That's right.
Amen. I'm not gonna worry you long. Well, I might worry you for like 20 minutes, but it's all right. We'll be home for 1 Samuel, chapter 17. 1 Samuel, chapter 17. And we'll start with verse 32 and end with verse 33. And you dare say amen.
Amen.
And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him. For thou art but a youth, but he a man of war from his youth. For a little while I want to talk about I'm young but ready to face the challenge.
Come on now.
I'm young but ready to face the challenge.
There's a challenge out there.
You see, in this life we would have challenges come our way. Some may seem bigger than others. Those of you who watch football knows that it's a challenge. One team has to beat the other team. Same with basketball, wrestling, and any other sports. You see, challenges are just a part of life. Folks will challenge you by your integrity to see if you are who you say you are. They will test you just to see what type of reaction that you give. That's why we have to be careful how we react to things. And if most stuff we react to, it doesn't need a reaction to it. We can't let people get up under our skin so quickly. People will even challenge our faith. They'll try to make us disobedient to God. But what I like about it is even though we have different people and different things that challenges us inside our lives, we have power over the challenges that comes our way. Jesus tells us in Luke 10:19 that he has given us authority over all the power of the enemy. And we can walk among snakes and scorpions and nothing will hurt us.
Come on now.
We have God's protection. But every challenge that comes our way isn't a bad challenge. There are good challenges that we face. You see, we're challenged in the church because many times that Pastor Duke challenged us to stay off the phone during Sunday worship and Sunday school. He challenges us to not let others or things or people distract us during worship. Brushing your hair during service is a distraction because as soon as the brush comes out, somebody else is trying to get your attention so they can use the brush. So now you have your focus on something that should have been done before church. Now the focus is on you and not the Lord, all because of one little distraction.
Come on now.
Not only that, but he challenges us to not fall asleep in church, especially when the word is going forth. What if God went to sleep on you? What if you were praying, trying to talk and tell your problems to the Lord, but he ends up going to sleep on you? We'll be in a world full of trouble if God went to sleep on us. But I'm glad to know that he's a God that never sleeps nor slumbers. Can you face the challenge to give your focus and time to the Lord? Some of us even face challenges in school. Instead of taking easy classes, you'd rather take challenging classes to strengthen your knowledge. Because taking challenging courses can help you learn how to deal with difficult situations. In the text we see that Saul and Israel faced a challenge in the beginning of this chapter. The Philistines gathered together their armies to battle Saul and the men of Israel. Both armies stood on the mountain, one army on each side of the mountain, with a valley in between them. And we see in verse 4 that somebody in the Philistine army stepped up and came out of the camp where the other Philistines were at. This certain somebody was a champion called Goliath, meaning mighty man. He was a giant man, about 10.5 feet tall. And the Bible says that he had on a helmet of brass on his head, and he was armed with a coat of metal that weighed 5,000 shekels of brass, which is 125 pounds. Not
Come
only
on
that,
now.
but he had bronze armor on his legs and between his shoulders. He even had a spear that was like a weaver beam. It was thick. The top of the spear weighs 600 shekels of iron, which is a little over 15 pounds. And he had a shield to protect him. It seems like Goliath was ready for the battle. He even began to call out the whole army of Israel. He tells them to send whoever they want so they can fight, and whoever gets killed first, their army has to be service of the other army. And when Israel's army heard him, the Bible says that they were terrified and were greatly afraid. As young people say, they were shaking in their jeans. That was Goliath's intention. That's why he came out the camp with full battle equipment and paraded in front of Israel's army. He wanted them to be afraid because when you're afraid, fear alone can cause you to be defeated. Fear will keep you from going places that God wants you to be. That's why in the Bible many times you see the Lord or his angels tell people to fear not. Satan uses this strategy to make us afraid. He enjoys seeing when children of God get afraid, and he loves seeing us all stretched out. But don't get caught in his strategies, because if you do, he already has you where he wants you. Goliath had the men of Israel right where he wanted them. He even had Saul right where he wanted him. And this is the same Saul that was known as a fierce and successful military man in 1 Samuel 14 and 52. But the difference between the Saul we see in the text and the Saul we see in 1 Samuel 14 and 52, when he was known as a fierce and great leader, is he then had the Spirit of the Lord with him. But the Spirit of the Lord left Saul in chapter 16 because he was disobedient. And when the Spirit of the Lord left him, his courage left him as well. You see, sometimes people hold positions but have no power. Don't think that just because you hold a position means you have power, because God can fire you and let you keep working. You can't expect to have God's power with you and think you can still be caught up in yourself. You'll be surprised at how many people hold positions inside the body of Christ but has no power. And the reason they don't have no power is because they don't know the man that gives power to the powerless. But here it is, David comes in the picture. And he was the youngest of Jesse, 8 sons. Some researchers believe that he was 15. David, he occasionally went to Saul whenever Saul needed him. And then he'll turn right back to feed his father's sheep. And you know, David was anointed king in chapter 16, but here it is, he's still watching over his father's sheep. And he still goes to Saul whenever he's needed. He still respects and listens to his father. And he didn't let the power that God gave him go to his head. David was still a humble servant. It's good to stay humble even when God anoints you and appoints you to bigger and better things. Because the same God that promotes you is the same God that would demote you. Jesus tells us in Matthew 23 and 12 that whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. And I'd rather stay low and let the Lord exalt me in him rather than getting so high in myself that the Lord has to bring me back down. But here it is, verse 16, Goliath still taunting Israel army for 40 days and 40 nights. Just like Satan tempted Jesus for 40 days and 40 nights. Jesse tells David to take food to his brothers and to the captain. So David rose early in the morning, being obedient to his father's orders. It's good to be obedient to your father's orders. But before he left, he didn't forget about the sheep, that he left them with the keeper to make sure that they were in good hands. And he got to the camp while the armies were screaming and shouting at each other across the valley, as they've been doing. And we see in verse 22 that David left his supplies in the hand of the supply keeper and ran to the army, which showed the courage that David had. He chose to expose himself in battle than to stay with the keeper of the supplies. He chose to run to the army while they were shouting and screaming at each other. And he didn't know whether they were getting ready to fight, but he didn't care if he got caught in between the fight. He just ran to the army, and we need some believers like that, that'll run to the battle when they see their brother or sister in Christ in the battle. He then began to start talking to his brothers, and while they were talking, Goliath popped up on the scene again. And when he popped up and said the same words he did before, but this time David heard them. But when the men of Israel saw him, they ran from him because they were still afraid of him. They wanted Goliath killed, but no one wanted to face the challenge. So they began to talk to one another, asking how they really took a look at Goliath, saying that he has really come to challenge Israel. They even began to bribe, saying that whoever kills him will receive great riches from the king, and the king's daughter will be given as his wife. But not only that, whoever kills him, their father's house becomes free. That sounds like a really good deal, but still no one took the challenge. But here it is. This young boy David spoke up, asking what's in it for the man who kills Goliath. And he asked, who does Goliath think he is, challenging the army of the Lord. Not even Satan can beat the army of the living God. So why it is that Goliath think he can defeat the army of the Lord. David's older brother heard him speaking to the man, and he lost his temper. He was angry because he felt David was insignificant, worthless, and he didn't have the right to speak up, especially with such bold words that he had said. But you'll be surprised at what comes out of the mouth of a child. You'll be surprised on how God will use a child to speak for him. David was the only one who had the courage to speak up about the challenge. But now here it is, his older brother is angry with him when he didn't even have the courage to speak up like David did.
Amen.
He even had the nerve to judge David's heart. He said he knows his pride and the weakness of his heart. But he didn't really know David's heart. He misunderstood David. David's intentions wasn't to be seen, but many times we let people hinder us from what God has called us to do because they misunderstand us. Even though David's brother degraded him, he didn't let that hinder him. The other soldiers were probably laughing at him whenever his brother was degrading him. But he still didn't let his feelings hinder him because he knew the cause. And when God calls you to do an assignment, you will have some folks in your ear doubting you, telling you that you can't do this or that.
Amen.
If you young, but I start by to encourage you, don't listen to your doubters. Don't let people hinder you from doing what God say do. Just keep listening to the voice of the Lord.
Amen.
And what he tells you to do. Because at the end of the day, that's the one you have to answer to.
That's right.
He's the one that gets the glory out of it. If you look at the text, David's attitude was completely different than the other men of Israel, including Saul's. David was concerned with God's cause before everything. Before his own personal safety, before his own personal glory, before his own personal honor. He has a passionate concern for God's cause. Just think how God can use us for his glory if we forget about ourselves and focus more on him. David had a real relationship with God. That's where he got his strength and courage from. He had the spirit of the Lord. That's why he didn't get bothered by his brother. And I'm sure he was hurt by it, but he didn't let his flesh get in between the spirit of the Lord. Now verse 31, they reported to Saul what David had spoken, and Saul sent for him. David told Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine. David accepted the challenge, and he tells them to calm down and don't give up. I will go and fight this Philistine. And he didn't tell Saul that someone else needs to do it. And he didn't tell Saul that he needed to do it. But he said, I'll do it. David was ready, but Saul tells him that he's not able to fight Goliath because he's just a young boy. And Goliath, being a man of war since he was young. He was just looking at David in the natural. He thought just because of his age and his inexperience that he wasn't qualified to fight Goliath. But God can use you in any way that he pleases. But you have to be serious about it. Saul didn't realize that God already prepared David for this exact battle. When bears and lions attacked his father's sheep, he'll stop what he was doing to kill the bear and lion. He was faithful to his father's sheep. He was faithful at home. He calls us to be faithful right where we're at. And then uses our faithfulness to accomplish greater things for him. We need more believers like David to be faithful in spite of what comes our way.
Amen.
We need more people with the mindset of David. It's not in the text, but I hear David saying, I'm young but ready to face the challenge. So as I close, David tells Saul that the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he would deliver me out of this hand of this Philistine. David had faith that God would deliver him from this challenge. Do you have faith that God will deliver you from your challenge? After he had told Saul that the Lord would deliver him, he told David to go and the Lord be with thee. But Saul didn't realize that the Lord was already with David. Saul began to clothe David in his armor. David tried to walk in his armor but couldn't walk. Saul thought since he was a child that he'll need the best armor to fight Goliath. But he didn't realize that David already had the best armor on. David told Saul that he couldn't walk with these because he had not tested them. So he took it off. Many people would say the same about the armor of God. I cannot walk with these because I haven't tested them. But walking with the full armor of God is the best protection you ever have.
Man.
Saul had a bronze helmet, but David had the helmet of salvation. Saul had a coat of mail, but David had a breastplate of righteousness. Saul had a sword, but David had the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Can I get a witness in here? And David had the whole armor of God on him. Saul had the same armor earlier in his life, but now Saul only trusted in man's armor. That's why this young boy is going to face Goliath, because he had the armor of God on him. You see, David, he grabbed his stick and he chose 5 smooth stones out of the river and put them in his bag with a sling in his hand. And he walked towards the challenge, which was Goliath. He was young, but he was ready to face the challenge. And when Goliath saw David, he thought that David was unworthy because he was only a young boy. He then cursed the Lord and told David to come to him so he could kill him. But David had to let him know that you come to me with a sword and a spear and a battle axe, but I come to you with the best weapon there is. I come to you in the name of the Lord, the God of the armies of Israel, the one who has power over all things. How many know that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you, God will condemn. Verse 48, when Goliath started walking David's way, David ran toward the challenge. He took out a stone and he slung it and hit him in his forehead. And Goliath died because David faced the challenge with the Lord on his side. Are you ready to face the challenges of life with the Lord on your side? You see, David won a great challenge, but not greater than the one that Jesus won for you and I. You see, Jesus, he faced the challenge whenever he told God to prepare him a body to come down and redeem mankind. And he came down to save us from our sins and our transgressions. How did he face the challenge? They led him from a judgment hall to judgment hall. They beat him all night long, but he didn't say a mumbling word. They put a cross on his shoulder. He went up on the hill called Calvary, and they hung him high and they stretched him high. The thief on the right challenged him. He said, if you be Christ, save yourself and save us. But he didn't realize that Jesus was saving us by standing on the cross. He hung there from the 6th to the 9th hour. He hung from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. He died, but that's not how the story ends. The old folks said that they put a rock in the rock, and they sealed it with a rock. And he stayed there all day Friday night, and stayed there all day Saturday. But early Sunday morning, he got up with all power.
Come on, baby.
And I'm glad to know that he's coming back for us who face challenges on this life. He's coming back to give us our reward, which is that eternal home in glory, where every day will be like Sunday, and sweet Sabbath we have no end, where you can walk around and street paved the road. Shout all day and be with him. And I'm so glad that one of these old days, my challenges on this side will all be over. I went to a place where the received the real. I'm going home. Good home. I'm going home. You beat me up.
All right.